Hello everybody, this is ZigZagZog coming to you from somewhere in this world. We're back to continue our playthrough of Empire Total War featuring Darthmod in the 40 unit save version. We had finished our last turn pretty much with everything done on the turn. However, I did notice one little detail was left undone. When I came down here to research and technology, I noticed, oh, we picked up a school in Cuba. And then I'm going, what are we talking about? A school in Cuba? So I think the pirates had intentions of schooling themselves and becoming educated. I have different plans. I think initially I thought here we built a church school to help with the conversion of Cuba, and that's just what we're going to change things back to. We're going to burn down the school because I have plenty of schools, and we're going to do that. The other thing I was thinking of is we talked about my North Sea fleet up here and adding some more second rates to it, then bringing it down. Since we're jointly at war with Britain against Spain, or one of our partners that joined our war, I don't feel threatened about my home port right at the moment. Let's move my North Sea fleet away and kind of set up down here. This is what I'm thinking. And our army pretty soon should be able to then move down and force some activity against Gibraltar. At that time, either after that engagement or whatever, I'll have this little militia unit that while they're engaged, or if we defeat them, we'll be able to move over, kick their fleet out of the port. Although I imagine if we just win the battle here, that fleet will be kicked out of the port. But I want my fleets down here now, because if that all happens next turn, I don't want to forget to get them in place to bottleneck the Spanish fleet, so they can't somehow escape and get down and wreak havoc on our trade nodes. So that's kind of something I looked at and thought about after the fact. Last episode. So we're going to try hemming in the Spanish fleet over here on either side. Obviously, if they move out against the Mediterranean fleet, they're going to have a big bit of an advantage. But if they want to play that game, they will be definitely weakened so that my main fleet can then swoop in and knock them out of the game. So that's kind of what I decided to do. Heading in here, we got some extra trade routes rated for whatever that's going to be worth. And now I think we're ready for that next turn. Let's get to the other side, see if we have any more surprises like last time when Spain declared war on us. We'll see you on the other side. And the Ottoman Empire is continuing to overvalue their explosive shells technology, thinking it's worth other technology and a region. Sorry, Mustafa III. You need to figure this one out. Alright, looks like we have a new Protestant missionary recruited up in Norway. We'll see if I can keep from forgetting about him and get him moving to where we need him. But we'll pass on that for the moment. And we have our, looks like our line of successful rake missions here, so let's just go through those. We also have a recruitment report that gets us some new units in Savoia. Yeah, we're northern Italy. We were recruiting a bit, and we got our new second-rate ships of the line to help our main fleet, and even Venice, so we can work on the minor holdings of Spain over there. See what happens, Spain, when you declare war on us. We retaliate. Let's get over here. We got a new town that has emerged. Let's find out where. Oh, New Granada. I don't think we have any issues. Let's just take a look here. I think we can just go without even looking. I don't need another church school. We got enough missionaries floating around. Let's just get ourselves right in here for some income with some craft workshops and deal with it that way. And then our construction report, we're getting that infrastructure expansion going. Hopefully without too many losses in our battles this turn. We may have some money left over for some more infrastructure growth. We shall see. Let's start out our fun taking eeny, meeny, miny, mo. where do you want to start this particular battle? We're going to have battles potentially in Spain, battles potentially in India. Those are the two theaters. So maybe let's just, since we're here in the Americas, let's try to kind of reorient, refocus. Let's make sure we've got ourselves here. There we get them. We can build up Magistrate first. We are definitely going to destroy this fort. Too much of a frame rate drop, if you noticed on that battle last episode. That's why we don't like fort battles. But we did capture Cuba and Havana. Now let's see what our public order is looking like over here. We're not quite to the position to be able to move out yet with public order, but this building getting built will help. We have one more army up here we can keep on the move. Getting it up near New York. We'll continue the movement towards the old Iroquois territory spot. And did our rake make it through? It's kind of heavily mountainous and foresty here. Our movement isn't amazing through here, but let's get down to New York so we can keep some eyes on the capital that eventually we are going to need to take. And right now we're not seeing a whole heck of a lot in the area. In fact, next turn we may take a quick side trip over to Boston, see if anything's hiding over there. This is the only significant army I can see, although I seem to recall more than just this, but maybe I'm mistaken. And anyway, that's still down the road, and I'll have another army by then moving up that way. So that's kind of the redeployment, all that we had to keep working on in the Americas. Let's get over... I guess we'll go to Spain next. How about that? We're going to bring ourselves down here. We're going to make the decision. Has our army improved itself enough? Are we up to the task? Oh, yeah. There's no walls. I think we're up to the task. At worst, we may have some mortars in the garrison force that we'll have to deal with. But even in our weakened state, we do have 2 regiments artillery. We do have 5 or 6 full strength that are still unbattle tested, but we have the numbers. We're going to move on Gibraltar now rather than later and keep this effort moving forward against Spain. Continue the retribution against Spain. And there we go. Even that militia unit over here is looking to get in on the action. There is only 1 battery, 1 regiment of mortars. We can deal with that, I do believe. Their numbers come from the armed citizenry, but, you know, they can hurt us a little in melee, but nah, we outnumber them overall. So we're in good shape on this. We're going to see if they want to surrender. It is refused as expected. And if we take over this battle and we win this Battle of Gibraltar, their navy will be kicked out of port. And we may end up having a little naval engagement coming up. We'll find out if that's exactly the way it happens or not. See you down on the battlefield. All right, as far as on the map, we got some weird hills and whatnots. Yeah, we don't necessarily want all our units up on these hills because it's going to be hard to get, whoo, baby, hard to get them down off the cliffs to really be able to do anything in this battle. So I think what I'll have to do, in fact, I may even try my artillery up high and see if we have the range here while I set up, but rather than watch you move everything around and try everything and see what works, what doesn't, we'll be right back. And we'll review the setup once I make all those tests and try everything out. All right, my friends, we're back. And we have our artillery after all. I decided to go ahead and set them up upon high and keep them safe. We don't have to worry about my artillery getting overrun. The range of that artillery is about around where that destroyed structure is, so it covers easily about 3/4 of their deployment zone. So I think that's provides me enough value for that. We'll keep 1 regiment of grenadiers back here in case there's some path where they can get around and I don't notice, you know, with cavalry or something. Otherwise, we have just a big long old line, and the second deep and a third deep. The second and third deep are just set up for melee battle in case they enclose. If they are not big on advancing, because they feel with their mortars they match up to us, we will start moving our own lines forward to take them on. So let's go see where they set up. Not too far back, and we do have pretty good coverage through the zone, except for these units all the way at the back. And I don't see the mortars offhand. Up there, I saw some firing going on over here. Oh, that was our own cannon hitting, maybe. Yeah, I absolutely do not see where their brigade or right. Oh, here there is. They're entrenched over here. Got it. Well, what we may do then is their lines. Nah, we're not going to bring the cavalry out. It's one regiment of mortars. We will hold up fine with our numbers superiority. Why don't we move our front line forward just a little bit? We're going to come up and really we kind of have a decent... Actually, we'll hold off with the cavalry coming at us right here. We'll get into square formation here just in case. In fact, speaking of cavalry, they may be attempting... Now, I think they realize they can't get up and around very easily, huh? And apparently we can't get into square formation where we are against the backdrop here. It doesn't allow us maneuverability. So we're going to have to go into melee right here just to meet the threat of their cavalry charging in. So draw back to our setup. Remember that when you're backed up to a cliff, you don't have the space to move out, and it doesn't compensate for it to move into square formation to best deal with them. We do have some more support back here in the second tier, second line. We're going to run them in too. And we should be able to, taking probably a few more casualties than we would have preferred. And these are part of our green troops, I think. Now 294, now these weren't our full strength units, but we already have their cavalry wavering, so we'll be just fine. They appear broken, so there's a chance they could reappear. We're just going to bring everybody else on this side of the line out. We're going to keep the reinforcements on the front line. And they are shattered, so we don't have to worry about that cavalry coming back. And our own artillery is just trying to bombard their mortars to little effect right now. We did take out one gun, and that's about it. But what has happened is we have a pathway for cavalry to get around. The cavalry is not very strong. It's a depleted regiment of horse with 50 members and the general's bodyguard, but we'll take them wide to get around to the mortars just to get rid of the pesky mortars. And that way, what I do is feel comfortable re-targeting the artillery to units more on their battle line coming against ours. Because this one right now that we're targeting is able to stay at greater distance than we're able to fire at. Uh-oh, we found some hidden units and we're being fired upon, I'm sure, which is not good. We found some Spanish bandits who apparently have the ability to hide on us. So we're going to try and bypass them to get over to the mortars. Learn something new. The Spanish have some units that they're able to hide. Since we have such vast numbers and lines here, we're going to take these regiments here on the wings and bring them out. We'll run them and get them ready to fire at will. We got some bandits looking to get around the edge on us. And the cavalry needs to get going over towards the mountains. We're going to bring the third tier line over as support over here now that we've vacated that support. And keep everything in order. Now we might as well curve this line around since they are not advancing on this side to maybe have the potential to provide some more support. I don't think these bandits are going to hold up. All of a sudden they're going, holy crap. And any hidden units on our way? No, we're going to blast and destroy those mortars. The only problem is we got to be careful with all these defenses over here. They can damage cavalry badly if we aren't careful. We got some casualties already from our units. The general's bodyguard taking potential losses here. One guy stuck on these things. We do not want them running out anymore. We're going to keep them parked away, try to keep them away from these defenses here so we do not accidentally kill any more of our cavalry horses, those fine steeds. Yeah, we're going to keep them right there just so I can reassess where we're at. And we're driving them off in big fashion here. And it looks like we had somebody close in or about to waver. There you go. Let's readjust this line again. They're a little close in the center. I'm going to silence the artillery and get them to just refire at will against whomever. I think the target I had them on has probably retreated and disappeared by now. And really we have no problem holding the line at this point. Overwhelming their firepower at this point. And they were trying to get around our wing, but we broke them before they could get there. I was about to react. Militia is hanging tough, getting in and closing in our units. If they end up meleeing, we'll bring in some reserves. And they're wavering. And they've broken. They came close. We have some more armed citizenry. They just don't have the strength of units to be able to push through our lines. And with our artillery up on the hills, there's really nothing. They're kind of forced to have to attack us, because otherwise if they stay back, we just bombard, bombard, bombard. Part of the reason we set up that way is to force them to have to attack. Because it's much easier, the battle losses are less when they're attacking in that fashion. Want to watch some of our splendid fire by rank here. Just overpowering. You can see in their lines the sporadic fire, boom, pop, 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 pop. For us, it's just boom, 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 3 times in a row. So that's why they just can't overcome our fire right now. except the way they can overcome our fire is through melee. So let's just come down and support here just a little bit. So we can get back to our overwhelming boom, boom, boom kind of fire. It's starting to get a little quieter here along the front. They're slowly fading in the center. We have some guerrillas who are, unfortunately for them, in our range. I think we'll bring our cannon to bear. They're the somewhat unwavering guerrillas over here. Let's see if we can make them waver. Dropping some cannon fire on them, and there they go. And we have a unit that decided in all the mayhem to take a position behind a wall here. Not a bad strategy per se. But we're going to start rooting them out now. In fact, these two units that joined in for melee, we're going to help them root the enemy out. Here in a moment, once the fire subsides just a little bit, we're going to start curving our line, or angling our line down so we can bring some more fire on this entrenched unit here. We've adjusted or are adjusting our artillery fire. In fact, our second tier line that has been in the back not doing much, we're going to bring them forward to rout out this unit. Oh, in fact, they're coming out from behind the wall now, so they will not last much longer. And they're already fading. So what we have left is entrenched units over here. We're going to have to send some forces out in that direction through the cities and get over here. So what I'll do is I'll get my armies placed over here, or marching over here, and as soon as we get closer, because it looks like everybody else is out, down and out for the duration. So once we relocate down here, to root out the last of their units, we will rejoin the battle. I'm not going to make y'all watch the long march that we are about to partake in. Alright, our soldiers are almost in position. They're getting over some weird terrain, so our lines are weird. But in our advance, they've decided to pull out of this particular position. So we'll have our units getting over this weird terrain and start engaging soon. In the meantime, I did pull my cavalry out of this awkward position with all these weird defenses, so they can maybe, if we need to do it, come around on the back side here to help rout these guys out. And I'm thinking we better halt right here and take some shots while we can. Oh, look at that terrain. It's hard to get us lined up at all. In fact, they've gotten wind of our cavalry in the back, and they've moved out, so we're just going to charge the cavalry in general and all. We're going to run these guys the rest of the way, whoever has movement left to run with. And the rest of these units are coming in. Let's see if we can get this line set once and for all. Run them in. We'll take some shots in the maneuvering, but overall we should be good for it. We have them wavering with the cavalry in the charge just so we don't take any shots from our own men. We're going to back them out now. We did the job of pushing them forward into our fire. Except they're following us right back now. And running out of our range. So we're going to have to come back before they get set, charge back in with the cavalry. This is just militia, so they should not hold up that well. It's just that they outnumber us so vastly, I gotta be careful. And they are wavering somewhat. And with that in mind right now, we have some regiments right here. We're gonna charge them on in to support the cavalry. And this regiment is gone. We got this last one left. The general's bodyguard's still holding at 45, so we're hanging in there, holding up pretty well against them. We've knocked them down to almost half strength just by cavalry melee alone. But we're definitely taking some hurt in the process. 44, yeah, we're hanging in there tough. Now our own bayonets are coming into charge to finish this thing off. Although we did, unfortunately, lose our general. At 44, we're down to 43 of the general's bodyguard, so the 44th guy that fell, number 44, was the general. Gosh darn it. There we go. That's what you get for playing with the general like that, but the battle should be over. Oh, they regrouped over here. Let's just, no finesse, let's charge on into them. We don't have a general to worry about now. We can be aggressively careless now. Let's run these troops over here and run them down. This is armed citizenry, so they should hold up even less against the cavalry charge, along with bayonet charge. These guys got to be tired right now. Yeah, they're very tired, but this battle is not much left to this battle. And it's over. Gibraltar will be ours. And since it is a city battle, we don't have to chase them down. We'll end it right here. Heroic victory. Good job, men. We lost 900 men in order to take over Gibraltar. Happy with that result. We're going to move. We have a rake here. Let's see if we can't move him forward. Actually, there's probably nobody here to really see. Let's see if we can infiltrate. Oh, he can't even get down there. He's going, who knows what path he is taking to get across. We'll just stop that movement. And we do have this little militia unit that can now freely, with no fear of being intercepted from an army in Gibraltar, move over here and make a little something happen. And somehow we, I guess, didn't have an appropriate zone of control from our ships, as it seems to show. So he was able to weasel his way out of that tight position. We're going to bring these ships, so it won't let us. Actually, we are going to bring these ships out here and see if he decides to intercept us. And he does not. So we will join them to the Mediterranean fleet, as I've been wanting to do anyway. We will move the Mediterranean fleet in again.
All hands on deck.
And there we go. But the only thing I got to do before I forget, we lost a general. Let's repair here. We need to pick a unit, and first of all, we got to do first choose everybody and replenish. Then pick one unit. And it's important to choose only one unit with which to recruit a general to. And there we go, we got our general back. Alright, so I thought we might get lucky and have a little naval battle, but he was able to escape. Well, I thought he moved into, I was thinking he moved into the port. That's how he was able to get away, but apparently that's as far as he could get. So I'm wondering, do I dare work on a naval battle? Now, I think what we'll do is we'll just keep this guy hemmed in right now so he can't do anything with overwhelming numbers on our part. Let's get over here to the forces we've been gathering in northern Italy to try and get them to move out to the lesser holdings of Spain over in this area. We got an army over here to move out with artillery and cavalry having been recruited. We have this army ready to move out. It doesn't look like we could quite reach to get everybody out this turn, so that's not a big deal. Because I mistakenly, in my excitement of having some big naval action potentially over here, I should have left one ship back there. And that's just what we'll do. We'll pick one, have him go back as far as we can, so that next turn we'll have somebody there to be able to pick up our troops and start moving against the other holdings of Spain. Mainly Sardinia over here and Naples. I think that's the only two left that they're holding up. Alright, with that maneuvering done, let's get over to India. And I'm going to see if we can't move. One thing they did do mid-turn is they consolidated all the loose units around here into one force over here. And I think we're going to end this particular episode with this battle for Malwa. And see, we should be in good shape to be able to take it on. And we sure are. The meters in our favor. The numbers really do outnumber them. In fact, I don't know why it's not even more in our favor. But they do have mortars, and that's probably why. That usually, mortars can quite often, as far as AI is concerned, and coming up with these rankings, tip a balance big time. So we pretty much double their numbers as far as forces. We're going to fight it out, though, and see if we can get over another city, another province. So we'll see you down on the battlefield. All right, it's a pretty level opening as far as the battlefield is concerned. Their area to deploy is over here. I'm probably going to set my artillery up more on the hill and then get everybody else set up around that. So I'll be right back after we set up. Alright, nothing too fancy about our setup. We did do the artillery up on the hill. Their zone kind of is right over here. It's hard to see that light green. Here it is. Light green coming down over in this kind of corner area. We'll have good coverage of their deployment zone. Cavalry on this side, cavalry on the other side. The general's unit, we decided to keep back out of the action since we did lose a general in our last battle. We're too deep on this side, too deep on this side. The back units for melee, and then this is just total reserve in the middle, including our pikemen to help jump out for melee. So we got kind of weird setup with this L-shaped setup. We'll see if that works or not, or more than likely provide some awkward angles and situations, but we'll see if it's good enough to hold. With the artillery over on this wing, I think we'll be fine. And they do set up pretty far back. So what we're going to do with that in mind is we are going to take our line and maybe get rid of this V. And get more of a standard line going here if the terrain will allow it. And with their cavalry approaching here, the camel gunners, we're going to bring some of our own cavalry out there to counter it. Same on this side. this side. We're going to get this guy running because he's getting blasted right now. We're going to get these guys the ability back to fire. And we were more to the task, apparently, matching up with the camel gunners on this wing. Over on this wing, a little more stubborn. And, well, they do have a vast amount of camel gunners out here right now. Cavalry did the job here. We're going to keep going against these camel nomads here that are nearby. Try and keep them on the run, and we got to keep our eyes over here on this cavalry because they are not doing amazingly well. Taking some heavy losses against these camel gunners. It's a very mobile battle right now up front. Samandari horsemen, they could be susceptible to a cavalry charge on ours, so we're going to take ourselves away from these wavering gunners and get ourselves back out of here because all of a sudden we're wavering too. And it looks like we may not hold up in the end. Okay, this cavalry will withdraw for the moment. Enemy general has died, though, in all this activity, so maybe that's why this one was so tough. It was their general's camel gunner unit. Looks like we may need to continue advancing, especially with their mortars back there. They're less inclined to advance on us, so we're going to have to do some aggressive advancing on them. Still got the camel gunner. Camel gunners are making that a little more challenging by as they keep advancing upon us. We're going to pull back the cavalry for now. This cavalry unit did recover, fortunately, so let's bring them back over here with the other regiment. And it looks like we did take out their mortars because we just have the mortar regiment that's advancing without their mortars. Oh, there's one set of mortars left over here. So let's have our temporarily see if our artillery can't target that unit. In fact, some of our own artillery has been targeted by those gunners. And they're retreating. Oh, they got behind us. That's what's happened. There we go. That explains a lot as to why our artillery and our general is having some issues back here. So we may have just lost our own general by not keeping track. He got a cavalry unit around our rear without me even noticing. Well played, AI. We're going to charge our reserve units into melee with their camel nomads here. And also bring our cavalry over to finish this pesky guy off. Other than that mishap, the battle's been well in hand on our part, where we're not feeling threatened anywhere along the line to any great degree. Not at all, and I think these camel gunners are finally going to be knocked out. Unfortunately, at a cost of yet another general on our part. And it looks like we have knocked out just about. Not quite. We got some mortars still active out here. But with that in mind, we should have some cavalry over here that's a little bit more rested again. And we're going to bring straight out to go for those mortars. Fire by rank, they've just been unable to dent the line, even though they're trying their darndest. They're trying so hard to pound our line, and they just haven't been able to do it. Cavalry's moving out over here to go for their mortars, and they set up a square formation thinking that's where we're headed. They will be able to get some shots off at us as we run by. That's about it. Now that we got cavalry moving out that way, I think with our lone artillery unit remaining, we can focus on the units of theirs that have been managing to regroup. So we don't accidentally shoot our cavalry in the back. Withering fire we're providing. Let's focus on this unit left in square formation, see if we can help out there. But the mortars are almost going to be gone now. We finally reached them. They will not hold up. And there's not much resistance left here. I don't see any, unless they have some hidden units. I don't see anybody that's not wavering right now. And there we go, the battle is over. It is a city battle, so we're going to end it right now. All right, we lost 834 out of our 10,000 we started with. Pretty dang good. They lost pretty much all their forces, and since it's a city battle, no retreat. Aha, they had some, I guess, considered reinforcing units that we were able to chase down. So we did lose a general. Region, however, has been captured. We're going to burn it down, build our own infrastructure in this area. And while we're here and thinking about it, as before, we're going to pick a unit and hire a general back into this army. And let's highlight everybody, spend to replenish, big chunk of money, but we're still left with almost 20,000 left to spend. So what we're going to do at this point, we have a couple battles stuck in. I think time-wise, we probably are in good shape to end it right now and come back to see what else we can finish up in India. We do have another army down here over in Hyderabad, and it might be time we're going to be able to get them moving also to keep the pressure on. We also have some strong forces lingering in the woods over here that may try some counterattacks against us, depending on how we advance. But if we end up bringing this army forward next turn, that will discourage them, I think, from getting too frisky over here. We also have a reserve army holding fort down here in this area, so we got a pretty good position at the moment. So what we're going to do is end the battle here. I'll take a look around, see how we want to spend the remaining 19,000 that we have to spend, make sure there's no other little details we need to wrap up on this turn, and take care of that next episode. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Once again, 2 battles, 1 episode. Love it when that happens, and I'm feeling good about that and good about our progress right now. So let me know what you're thinking. once again, I've said this before, if you've made it this far, I don't get a lot of comments from you Empire guys, and I'd love to hear from you. Get your thoughts, get your feelings, and just say hi if you got nothing else to say. I love hearing from y'all. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.